In Bonta, Louisiana, one woman descended upon a quiet town and turned it into a frenzy of lust, madness, and ritualistic sacrifice. To most, Marianne Forrester was just an eccentric outsider, but beneath the smiles, she was something much older, something humanity had long forgotten, and by the time they realized who or what she truly was, it was already too late. First appearing in the final stretch of True Blood's first season, Marianne arrived as a mysterious stranger. She was generous, charming, and magnetic, the kind of person who seemed to see directly into your desires. But behind her kindness was a dangerous devotion, a worshiper of Dionysus, the ancient Greek god of ecstasy, chaos, and the wild. What started as small parties and indulgence soon spiraled into something darker, black-eyed frenzies, ritual sacrifices, and an unstoppable hunger for transcendence. Today we're going deep into Marianne's origins, powers, and motives, unraveling her role as one of True Blood's most dangerous supernatural beings, and exploring why her obsession with pleasure and oblivion made her unlike any villain the show had ever seen. Marianne's story begins long before the events of the show, so long in fact that her true age predates written history itself. An immortal, empowered by her unshakable faith, blending into cultures and mythologies as she wandered the world, seeking places where ritual and chaos converged. In Bonta, however, her arrival wasn't random. She was summoned, unintentionally, during a fake exorcism ritual, and there she crossed paths with someone from her past, Sam Merlot. Years before, Sam, terrified of his shape-shifting abilities, wandered into Marianne's home as a runaway. What followed was trifling, to say the least. Marianne, sensing his power, seduced him, but as their encounter took a turn, her voice deepening, her body trembling with divine energy, Sam panicked and fled, stealing money and some valuables as he escaped. To Marianne, this wasn't a broken fling. It was a missed opportunity. Sam had appeared before her naked, standing in front of a statue of Dionysus' rebirth, a sign in her eyes that he was meant to be the vessel for her god. In her mind, she should have sacrificed him that night. Years later, she wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. Marianne arrives in Bonta under the disguise of generosity. She offers food, shelter, and endless parties. But beneath the surface, she's planting seeds of chaos. Her power lies in her ability to strip away inhibition, connecting mortals to the raw essence of Dionysus. Once under her influence, the townspeople become unrecognizable, violent, indulgent, and black-eyed, surrendering completely to their desires. Unlike vampires who glamour individuals, Marianne's trance works on entire crowds, turning Bonta into a living Dionysian cult. She thrives on frenzy, feeding off the people's energy while slowly steering the town toward one purpose, summoning her god. This goal puts her directly at odds with Sam and the other protagonists. She believes Sam's shape-shifting makes him the perfect vessel for Dionysus to manifest physically. To her, his existence isn't just special, it's divine destiny. But Marianne isn't reckless. Her manipulation is calculated. She tempts, seduces, and overwhelms people until resistance becomes impossible. The deeper Bonta falls into chaos, the closer she gets to her ultimate ritual, sacrificing Sam to bring Dionysus into the mortal world. Marianne's powers are rooted in her faith, and over thousands of years, belief has made her almost godlike herself. Her primary display of power was her unusual ability to place entire crowds under a mass hypnosis and trance, suppressing the ego and unleashing primal desire. When her influence was forced on them, the eyes of the victim go completely black, creating a totally loyal servant to Marianne, at which point she no longer needs to focus. Of course, supernatural beings were shown to have a natural resistance to this mind control. Otherwise, she'd be too OP. However, she could force a shapeshifter to change at will. You could argue her influential powers being better compared to a vampire's glamoring, and her spell was very difficult to undo. On top of being long-lived, Maenad was shown to be notably invulnerable to typical damage, as she demonstrated an ability to gleefully deflect bullets fired at her with just a hand. Even the attempt of being drained by a vampire falls flat, since her blood was made up of a corrosive, black, and poisonous substance. In terms of physical capabilities, Maenad can morph her hands into razor-sharp claws coated in a toxin, potent enough to instantly paralyze humans and poison vampires. I'd say it's similar to a Komodo dragon's poison in real life. Without proper medical treatment to the point of infection, even vampire blood is proven to be ineffective in healing the victim. During her moments of intense frenzy, she was shown to summon gusts of wind, shaking the environment itself. And had Maenad been angry, that energy turned into an ear-piercing screech. Maenad's immortality only lasts as long as she believes her god hasn't come. The moment she accepts the arrival of Dionysus, she lowers her defenses entirely, a vulnerability her enemies will inevitably exploit. At the height of her ritual, Maenad finally achieves what she sought for millennia, summoning her god in physical form. She sees a majestic white bull, a sacred symbol of Dionysus, and believes her time has come. Arms open, she welcomes her god's embrace. As Maenad surrenders completely, believing she's about to transcend, the bull goes on to impale her, tearing her heart from her chest. Except this was no ordinary bull, it was Sam. In shock, Maenad whispers,
"Was there no God?"
her immortality shattering as her body collapses into decay. Her death is both ironic and tragic. After thousands of years searching for divine connection, her god never truly came. In the end, Maenad dies not from force, but from faith. Maenad's arc embodies True Blood's recurring themes of indulgence, identity, and mortality. She represents humanity's hunger for transcendence, the desperate need to dissolve the boundaries of self and merge with something greater. But her downfall warns of obsession. When devotion blinds reason, faith can destroy the faithful. Her bull helmet, ecstatic feasts, and mass frenzies all mirror the real-life Dionysian cults of ancient Greece, where ritual ecstasy was believed to dissolve the self and connect mortals to God. But for Maenad, there was no transcendence, only manipulation, destruction, and the cruel silence of an absent deity. While the show ends Maenad's story decisively, there are lingering questions. Was Dionysus ever real, or was Maenad channeling something far darker and older? If Maenad predates written history, how many civilizations did she influence, and how many others like her still exist? Some fans theorize that Maenad's immortality came not from Dionysus, but from ancient primal forces tied to chaos itself, meaning if another Maenad surfaces, Bontar might not be safe for long. Maenad Forrester wasn't just a villain, she was a force of nature, a being driven by faith, ecstasy, and an unquenchable hunger for oblivion. Her story is a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters aren't hunting us, they're inviting us to the party. Let me know in the comments, do you think Dionysus was ever real in the True Blood universe? And which character should we unravel next? Until next time, keep watching the dark, because it's definitely watching you.